Hello YouTubers, my name's Thor from Thor Designs Woodworking. Today we are going to be doing 3 different style cutting boards. All 3 use the same glue up procedures in the beginning, but then there's a little twist to the end, and that's what makes them unique. So today, if you have a scrap pile, kind of like this one, of just different scraps that you have laying around the shop, then if you're like me, you have scraps everywhere. And we've got to use those up. So every so often I like to take the scraps that I have, glue them up, kind of pile them up, and then finish them off. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the beginning sequence of just kind of how to lay them out, and then the glue up procedure that goes with it. And then once they're glued up, the rest of it I'll show you how to do. So let's start with the first steps. So in the first steps, we're just going to take all the different woods and we're going to just kind of lay them out. I always like to try to cut them to a 1-inch height. That way when they get to the planer, they'll be planed down to about 3/4 of an inch. So I like to also randomly just put woods in different sizes and shapes and colors. I don't like the same colors to be located next to each other. I want them to all be unique, and just kind of go there. Walnuts, some cherries, hardwoods, you want all of them mixed in with it. My planer will only plane a 12-inch board, so I try to make mine at least as close to that as I can, and when I do that, then I like to make sure that I take my measuring tape and I measure it to make sure that I'm in the 12-inch. Well, this one's a little bit less. I'll add a couple more pieces to it. And right there, we're right at 12 inches. So when you glue this up, you will use your clamps. What I do is I take my glue, spread it evenly on this, make sure it's all really nice. I turn these off to the side one at a time, individually. Glue each side, and then after I glue them, I'll put them right back up. Stack them right back up the way they are. I'll put my clamps on them, and I want to squeeze just enough glue that it comes out in between the glue. You don't want to have so much glue that it just oozes out everywhere. Alright, so once you do that, I have one here that's already glued up. I still have the clamps, so I'm going to take that out, kind of show you what we have. This one here I glued up yesterday. Take the clamps off. Right here. Now, the first part of the video, what you'll see is it's just a plain cutting board. All of it is just straight wood in this pattern. We'll trim this off, run it through the planer, get it smooth on both sides, route it, and then put the olive oil or mineral oil on it, and it's finished. So that's the simplest design right there. All of these will use the same format, the same glue up pattern. So the next cutting board will be the checkered cutting board. So as you see, I took the same wood. It was all glued up the same way, as so. This is how it was, just like the other one was. I'll show you a little bit better. Now, the simple parts of this is once I do that, I'll take it to the table saw. I'll cut them in a 1-inch width, and then when I lay them here, every other one, I reverse. Up, straighten them up. Same thing, I'll put some glue in between these, clamp this together. Now you have a very unique pattern. It's called a zipper pattern. It's very unique, it's very pleasing to the eye. You can use any kinds of woods. I usually like to say that try to make it where they're staggered when you're gluing them up, that you don't have the same pattern going, like walnuts on the ends, cherries, maples. You want it to be different. All of them needs to be in different order. No rhyme, no reason. The more rhyme the reason, you just put it together and you'll get a better pattern. So once we get that one glued up, that one will be next. The last design is the chevron design. I just saw what I did with this. I also cut this into 1-inch strips. But the difference with that is I will take this to a table saw and I cut it at a 45-degree angle. So I'll show you kind of how I do this. So here is a piece of leftover. It's cut at the 45-degree angle. You can see that. And then when I run it through the table saw, it just cuts off a little strip, which is that right down there. Then, when I get all the strips made out, then I will be right back here to this location. And then I'm going to flip them around, and this will make a neat chevron design. You see that? And you can do the chevron designs so that it's, I like to alternate these nicely. So there's a different pattern going on each one. This one's already turned around, so let's turn this one this way and this way. And we'll do this throughout the whole thing, and once we glue it up, as you can tell, let's go ahead and finish this one up so that you can kind of see how it's going to look. So I have an olive ball right there. So this is what it's going to look like once it's glued up. So I will turn the camera off, glue these up, let them sit overnight. Tomorrow we'll go ahead and sand them down, cut them, and we'll see how these things look. All right? I'll see you tomorrow.